In this video, we're going to cover how to open up a document in Photoshop. So when you open up Photoshop for the first time, you may see something like this. You have a couple of options. Right here, there's a button that says Create New and another one that says Open. So what we're going to do right now is open a document that we currently have on our desktop. So I'm going to click Open. And that's going to take us to a Finder window. And I'm using a Mac, so that's why mine looks like this. So I can choose an image, select Open, and now that image should open for me in Photoshop. Ta-da! Once we're in Photoshop, we have other options. We can go to File, Open, and then it'll take us back to the file window that you were previously using, and I can choose another one. And now what I have is two documents opened up in Photoshop. I have the first one. I can click on the tab on the upper left to get to the landscape photo, or I can click on the tab next to it to get the reindeer. Another way to create a new document once you're already in Photoshop is to go to File, New, and it's going to bring you to the template window. You can select something out of your recent or go to Print and then select the 8.5 by 11. And then hit Create. So Photoshop will create a new document for you. I have my reindeer in this tab, and then I have my new document here. So I'm going to go ahead and close that tab for now. Once I'm in Photoshop, I can also go into File, Open Recent, and select images that I've had previously opened. Because I have cleared all my recents, you will only see these two files. So now I'm going to close these two files by clicking on the tiny X in the tab. And because I have no other files open in Photoshop, it's going to bring me back to this intro window. So I'm going to create another document, but this time I want to create a 8.5 by 11 white document. So I'm going to click on Create New. And that's going to bring me to this new document window. Because I've had lots of recent documents in my Photoshop, I have a lot more options here than you might have. The thing that you want to concentrate on this window is not necessarily how many recents that you have, but these tabs up at the top and then this panel right here. So the quick way to get an 8.5 by 11 white document is to go into Print. That should be the first preset you have available to you. So I could click on this and go ahead and create. And now that's created for me an 8.5 by 11 document with a white background by just using that preset. I'm going to go ahead and close that by clicking on the tab. And because I didn't save that document or do anything for it, it just went ahead and got rid of it for me. So now I'm going to go back to Create New again. So instead of using the Print tab to create that 8.5 by 11 document, I can now see that I have one in Recent, or if I wanted to, I could create the document on the left-hand side. So I could go ahead and name it something. I'm going to call it White Doc. I can change it to any size I want. I can change the orientation, so let's change the orientation to a horizontal. For our purposes, we want to keep the resolution at 300 and the rest of the defaults are fine. Now because I want a white background, that is the default, but if you wanted to change that color, click on that little box. You're going to get a color picker window. Then you can choose red. Red is the default. You can change the slider and change the color of the image. So I don't want to do any of those things, so I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. And now I'm ready to create my new document. And now I've created a document with a white background that's 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this document. From this window, if we don't have any Photoshop documents open, we can create something new, or we can open something that's existing. Because I've opened these two documents recent, it's going to be on this front page in my recent. If you want to clear all your recents here, you can go into File, Recent, and then Clear Recent Files. And then it's going to take you back to the original window. All right, so I'm going to go back to Open. And then just pick a file. I'm going to pick maybe the hands and click Open. So I have this document open. Now, once Photoshop is open, you can drag in files and not go through that window. So let me show you. I'm going to move my Photoshop window over just a little bit, and I have some folders here with some files in it. Ignore my dirty desktop. That's just the way it is. I'm going to click on the same folder with the spirit animal images in it. I'm going to select the old vintage cards, and I'm going to drag them right into the Photoshop icon in my dock and then let go. And then the image opens up in its own document tab. So here is my hands, and here is my card. Another way you can do it is I'm going to click on an image. I'm going to click on the butterflies, and then I'm going to just drag the butterflies into the card document and see how that brings in images differently. So here's the butterflies now on top of the cards, and you see the butterfly image with the bounding box. To commit to this action, you have to hit return or use this check mark up at the top. Now what happens is we have two images stacked on top of each other. You can see here in the two layers panels, I have two images stacked on top of each other. It all depends on what you want to do, whether or not you want to open up a fresh document, you want to open up an image, or bring other images into an existing document. All right, so that is opening images in Photoshop. Take care.